Hi there. I am the CRM Ninja, and on today's episode of the Oops Factor, I have Yash Agarwal. Welcome to the show, Yash.
Hello, EY. Thank you for having me here.
It's wonderful to have you on the show. I know we've chatted via various direct messages on different social media for a while, but it's great to actually speak to you person to person.
That's great. Yeah.
Indeed, the joys of modern technology. And speaking of modern technology, right, I have a question I'd like to ask you because in my background, I have what looks like currency, but it's not really currency, right? Because it can't exist in the real world. It's cryptocurrency. And I understand that you got into cryptocurrency recently. Can you tell us a bit how you got into it and what you've been doing?
So basically, I mean, when I saw the background, I was like, at this time, like when the market is going down, you touch the wrong nerve. But then I was like, fine, it has happened a couple of times with me already. I actually first started trading in 2016, way back when we were trying to build something on the blockchain technology for EV charging, like electric vehicle charging, and incentivizing drivers based on the driver behavior and so on. And then I saw the other side where people were making huge money just by trading. So that was the first time I got into it.
So you got into it totally the opposite. Most people started to think, hold on a minute, what's this cryptocurrency thing? I can do mining. I'm going to go and buy lots of graphics cards and rigs, and I'm going to do that. You went into it in, hold on, I can use blockchain for stuff.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. That was the ending. Yeah. So actually, it was like one of my professors got me into it. They were saying that it's like very fast, it's quite reliable. You can see how the transactions get processed so quickly and so on. And then obviously the money part of it as well. So that was the first motivation of getting into it. And then finally, when the blockchain part, we were trying to build it, it didn't work out. Then I was like, okay, fine, at least I can make some money trading it. But again, that also did not work out. So that's a different story then.
A shame, I guess, the blockchain part didn't work. I know a variety of projects that are aiming to use blockchain in different ways. And obviously, things have come a bit of way since 2016. So did you build your own mining rig?
No, not at all. I mean, it was a huge investment. One of my friends did that, but then again, graphic cards, managing all that, getting space and so on. And then I've learned that, when the rates are going up, you mine very less. When the rates are very low, you mine high. How much do you hold? When do you sell? Panic attacks, panic selling, and so on. So I just stopped that.
I hear. So are you still doing it nowadays or sort of on the side at all? Or
I mean, earlier it was like I was more into trading, intraday trading, and so on. But now after a lot of lessons learned, I started actually reading how do you analyze charts and what are the new currencies coming out, what are they based on, who are the founders. I started doing a little bit of research before putting money in there. So I'm holding currencies right now, but then it's like it's not for just rapid selling and making a quick buck over there. It's for a little long term so that I just make my retirement fund off it.
As a lot of people are trying to do. So you're just investing them, or you're also mining them on your own equipment?
I'm not mining them. I'm just trading a little bit. So here and there, and staking them basically. So I get a yearly, bonus on that.
Very nice. Yeah, I have considered at times doing some mining and such, but just as you said, the sheer cost of the equipment is just seems a little much. But what would you say, before we get to Oops Factor, what would you say to people who be starting to think about going into cryptocurrency? Your top 3 tips.
First one, don't go on Twitter because people over there are just trying to pump and dump. The second one is like buy or trade or whatever you do it on very trusted exchanges. I had a very bad experience just doing it on a very normal exchange, which was giving a very good incentive of not charging any trading fees. So don't get into that scam. The third one is like just don't go and buy anything. I mean, there's a lot of hype created on certain coins, and then those are just scams. It gets disappeared in less than a week or so. And the most important one is if you truly believe in the technology, no matter the price is falling, at least try on to hold on a few bags so that it gives you a good return.
Got it. Wonderful. So going from cryptocurrency to the Oops Factor, what do you have to share with us today?
So there was one very interesting point. So what happened is like way back in March, I believe, March 2021, that's where I was seeing that there was a nice bull cycle coming on. All coins were soaring high. So what I did was I had a particular target in mind for a coin I was holding. So I thought once it reaches the target, I'd sell 25% of whatever I was holding. And that exchange allowed us to put percentages in, and you could also put numbers over there of how many do you want to sell. So instead of putting 25%, I just put 25 coins over there. And I regretted that so bad because within just 2 days, I mean, I was not monitoring that on a very closed loop. I was just like, okay, I have a target for the 25%, and once it reaches that, I would sell it. But then it just sold 25 coins. If had I sold 25%, I would have made at least thrice of what I invested. So I was like, oops, what have I done? Like that.
Always make sure that yes, whether does it need a percent point or not. I've had some of those occasions myself.
Yeah. I mean, it was not fat fingering also that I would put that as an excuse, but it was just mere, I was just into, I don't know what mind I was in. I just put those numbers over there and clicked that sell order, and I left it as is. I should have monitored that. And I mean, it's like, I don't regret it now also. Basically, if I would have sold at that time, I would be in a good position. That's all is my learning over there. So whenever you're placing your buy orders or sell orders, do it very carefully.
True. That is true. And obviously these things fluctuate very quickly, but with any system, I guess you need to ensure that whatever you're putting in is actually what you want to put in.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Any other oops factor stories in general that you'd like to share?
So I want to share one very interesting one. It's also very funny, but it's not mine. It was during my surgery actually. So I had to get the surgery on my left leg. And the moment you go into the surgery room, just before the anesthesia, the doctors make you sign those formality papers that, okay, what we are going to do this and that and this and that. And instead of my left leg, they marked on my right leg.
Hold on. So the papers were wrong, or the actual? Because obviously, when you go into surgery, they draw on you to show where it is supposed to be. So which part was wrong? The drawing or the papers?
The drawing on my leg.
Oh, gosh.
So what happened was the moment I signed, they just put that anesthesia on me. And after two inhales of that anesthesia, I was already starting into that deep sleep mode. And then the doctor who was actually going to do the surgery, he knew that it was on the left leg. And then I was like, oh, what just happened? Why are you getting me signed on? I mean, why are you making me sign again and again on all these papers? And he was like, no, don't worry, we'll not do anything. I know the right leg that has to be operated on. And that was like a mini heart attack moment for me.
Hold on. So they made you sign papers whilst under anesthesia?
Just before the anesthesia. And then the last one, after the 2 puffs of that anesthesia, they made me sign. I mean, I was not even aware of what I'm doing. I was just doing those cock scratches thing.
So I remember when I had surgery and they were operating and they came and they drew all over my leg. Because I had something done on my leg as well, as people who know me know about. But they made me sign the papers whilst I was in the bed in my I always said hotel room, in my hospital room. They don't sign the papers anywhere near the operating theatre.
Okay. So for me, what happened was after they made me sign that, they again went out and made my parents sign it again just because I was already under anesthesia. So that was a comforting moment later on.
I was wondering about them asking you to sign stuff under anesthesia. I'm not quite sure how much that would hold up.
It was a funny scene in the theater all there.
So did they then operate on the correct leg?
Yes. Yes.
Good. And did your parents see the amusing side of it?
They did. And my father was so furious that they actually allowed my father to stand outside the operating theater and see what's happening inside.
So whilst you were being operated on, your father was busy watching through the window to check that they were actually doing the right leg or the correct leg.
I mean, he didn't know anything about that, what has to be operated, but he was just there and watching what they're doing.
Can you imagine? You turn up to hospital because your kid, I mean, obviously you are not, you are an adult, but you turn up to hospital because your kid's going to be operated on. And then you have to stand there watching whilst not understanding just to make sure they're actually operating on in the right way.
I know it's weird.
You'll think you're just going to take a book. You're going to sit there on the side, get something, get some chocolate out the vending machine.
I know. I mean, first of all, it was like I already delayed the surgery for over 6 months. So it was high time and everybody was troubled. So I was like, okay, let's just get done now.
So what lessons do we learn from that?
Lessons learned is, first of all, if the doctor suggests you surgery, just go for it. Don't go about to physiotherapists and people who say that, without surgery, we can get this done. The second one being like, be on time on your surgery day, just don't be late. I was already late by an hour or so.
Oh, I hear. Yeah, true. Being late is not good in general in a life.
Yes, totally. I mean, that was a big learning for me. I mean, first being late to the surgery, and then I was late, so they were already into a lot of. They already had some forward bookings. They usually do, but even if they didn't have, I should have been on time over there, so things would have gone more smoothly.
Wow. I have to say, my leg is aching slightly at the thought.
I know. I mean, now also when I meet the doctor, we just laugh at it, and he's like, "Oh, we would have operated on the wrong leg, and then we'd have to redo it again." I was like, "I would lose both of my legs. Then. I wouldn't be able to walk for months together."
True. I mean, I remember I had to have I had to have some stuff done in my mouth and some teeth dealt with and things. And the surgeon actually offered to take out the upper tooth at the same time because it would need to be removed. He's like, I'll just flick it out. It's fine. It's not a problem. So he removed two for the price of one. It was a buy one, get one free operation.
Don't go for it.
Yeah, no, it was good. It healed nicely. It was very good. Very professional, went very well. Any other stories that you would like to share with us?
One on the reaching out side. So what happened was I was already working on a full-time job. It was all good, and then I suddenly get an offer. So that offer was like an irresistible one. I accept the offer. I give the resignation on the place where I'm working at. And in India, we have a 3-month notice period instead of the 2 weeks outside. And I mean, it's different everywhere. So in India, I had 3 months notice. After 2 months, that offer got replaced. So I didn't get that offer. I didn't have that offer anymore.
Ouch.
And I was so scared. I mean, I didn't know what to do and so on. I wasted 2 weeks just looking for jobs. And after that, what someone gave me a very good advice that if you're not going to reach out to people, they're not going to, come to you and ask, okay, do you want to work for us or not? So I reached out to people. I started cold messaging on LinkedIn, about 200, 300 conversations with different people. And then finally, I was able to start with some small projects. So best learning is don't be afraid to reach out to people. That's the first thing. If you want to reach out to somebody, just go ahead and do it. I mean, if they reply or not, it's secondary, but yeah, you should take the first step.
That is true. I mean, some people are not comfortable pushing themselves out and reaching out like that. Some people absolutely are, but it is important, especially when we think of our professional development and stuff, to reach out to our network and be on the network.
I mean, the first one that happened with me in that area was it was not a job application. It was more of I was starting to create content on the Power Platform, and I wanted to come on YouTube also. I wanted to create a channel probably, but then I didn't have much experience. So what I did is I started reaching out people who already have some nice videos over there that, okay, can I create a video with you and so on. So John actually helped me with that. He was like, hey, you can come. And then I messaged him that I want to come on your channel and present something, but I don't have anything to present. So what should I do now? He gave me a date for the very next day, and I was so scared for the entire day. That was my first on cam appearance and so on. So I practiced for the entire 8 hours or 9 hours that day, and finally came up with a proper script, started reading from it, and then continued on creating that implementation. And finally, the video went well. That was the first video I ever created on YouTube, and I was so happy and satisfied with that.
That is awesome. And John, of course, I know him decently well. He's a great guy. Really is a great guy, and what he does out there for people is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
no, go on. Sorry.
I was just saying that reaching out to people can actually do wonders. So yeah.
Reaching out can do wonders. Is definitely how I know lots of people have advanced and done so many things. And whether it's, as you say, you're new to something, so you want to co-create and co-author in something with somebody, hopefully, who's more well established to be able to help you get that first step. And definitely, I highly recommend that.
Yeah, totally.
Brilliant. So in terms of the stuff that you do now, for the community and YouTube and stuff, what would you say you feel has been the most successful thing to date?
I think just Power Automate is what I believe has taken me to a whole new level, learning that thoroughly and then actually trying out different things on that, like what all capabilities it has, extending those and pushing those through more. So that I think was a very life-changing factor for me.
Cool. Yes. I think Power Automate is an interesting one because, of course, Microsoft releases a new connector every 4 to 8 days.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the first time I started looking at Power Automate, it was called Microsoft Flow back then. I started looking at what all connectors are available, and the first thing I type is Ethereum. What's there on blockchain that can be automated using Power Automate? And there was actually a connector that would allow you to publish smart contracts. I was like, wow.
Or you you could create a custom connector, possibly.
Yeah. Custom connector as well, but that was already inbuilt. I was like, people are using that on Flow as well. I mean, nice.
Yeah, true. No, there's been a great amount. Brilliant. Well, Yash, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing a couple of your experiences.
Thank you so much, Ey. It was great sharing this. Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to have you. Viewers, we hope that you've enjoyed Yash's stories. Feel free to take a look at the other Oops Factor stories on the channel. Subscribe to the channel, of course, take a look at the blog. And if you would like to come on, hit the link, which is somewhere in the description below. Fill in your details, and I'd love to have you on the show. But above all, have an amazing day.